welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Palm Beach Motor Yacht Trans-Tasman 49er Exhibition Series. We are live from the beautiful Hamilton Island Yacht Club for what is set to be history in the making. The first time that we've been streaming these incredible Olympic classes at Hamilton Island, and what a great way to make it a part of the 40th anniversary of Hamilton Island Race Week. We have a little bit of time to go until these boats will be racing. As you can see, it's incredibly light and tricky out on the race course, but we have these boats warming up, and I think that you will see and learn to love them just as much as I do. If we go to on the water, even though it's incredibly light and tidal in the channel, these boats are flying. You can imagine what this will look like when we do get into a little bit of breeze later in the week. Incredible sights from this beautiful vantage point. I myself am at the Hamilton Island Yacht Club. I'm downstairs on a beautiful little veranda. I cannot think of a better office in the world. Absolutely glorious. So while we count down to racing, we've got about 27 minutes to go now in this somewhat easterly bound breeze, which is a little bit strange for this venue, but we do have breeze. There will be racing. The top mark will be right in front of the yacht club, and you will get to see these Olympic classes up close and personal. We might just go to an interview now with the CEO of Hamilton Island itself, and of course he's incredibly proud to have Palm Beach Motor Yachts supporting our Olympic classes as we look towards 2032.
We're extremely excited. We've had the team here now for 7 days. Spoke to them the other evening. They're really excited to be here. They've had a fantastic training session. The wind's been good. They've certainly been struggling to get their arms around the currents, but some of the footage we've been seeing is just incredible. So there's a really interesting aspect to this, which is obviously with the Whitsundays being announced as an Olympic sailing venue for 2032. We're really excited about having them here. We'll do this year, next year and every year leading through 2032, and hopefully it becomes a legacy event for us. Some of the thinking is about bringing some of the Northern Hemisphere teams down here next year again and really building that out into a bit of an Olympic program for us, which really is exciting and a great adjunct to the 40th anniversary of Hamilton Island Race Week. We flew in earlier this week, and as we flew over the Lindeman Island, we banked to the port side, and the entire plane was watching 7 or 8 of these young team members racing down to the south. It was just a spectacular sight for us from an overall excitement standpoint for the Hamilton Island Race Week, and obviously for the Australian Olympic team and the New Zealand Olympic team as well. Have a look at that. It's Wild Oats 10 just coming through for a bit of a test sail, which we're really excited about. So Mark Richards and the team, 2004 boat, which is absolutely fantastic, 66 footer. We've got the team out there. Really excited about this. We are super excited about that. We're looking forward from Sunday through Tuesday to have both the males and the females of 49ers and the 49er FXs sailing together in an exhibition series. We'll have them all on the water at the same time. 45-minute racing format. We're really excited. We're going to have all of the keel boat sailors back in by that time, celebrating that off the Hamilton Island Yacht Club. We're really excited about the idea of having Olympic sailing in the beautiful Whitsunday Islands, and there's nothing more picturesque, as everyone knows, than Hart Reef, Whitehaven Beach, some of those iconic Great Barrier Reef experiences. As an opportunity for us to showcase Australia and showcase Queensland to the world, it's super exciting, and I think, as I discussed with you earlier on, we announced the resumption of a regular scheduled air service between Hamilton Island and Cairns yesterday. So that means that every major East Coast arrival port into Australia, whether it's Melbourne, Sydney, Brisbane and now Cairns, is accessible to Hamilton Island in 2.5 hours, which just really makes us really somewhere fantastic, both not only for domestic tourism but also for the international arrivals. This is an incredible event for us. It's 40 years of Hamilton Island Race Week. We're really looking forward to the next 40 years of Hamilton Island Race Week. We've got a beautiful opening ceremony happening this evening. Bob Oatley's widow, Valerie Oatley, is going to be doing the flag raising. It's just a super special event for us. There's a lot of monumental things happening, a lot of investment by the Oatley family into Hamilton Island, and we're really thinking about the future, not only of Race Week, but the future of sailing in Australia, the future of sailing in the Whitsundays, the Olympics in 2032, everything the Queensland government's looking to do. So, we're proud of it. We're certainly proud to play our part.
Amazing scenes here at Hamilton Island. By the way, my name is Nick Douglas. I will be with you all week here at Hamilton Island Race Week, and I'm very, very privileged to be commentating not only for the Palm Beach Motor Yacht Trans-Tasman 49 Exhibition Series, we're also doing all of the live starts here in Dent Passage, and as you can see, it's quite light out on the water and some very, very tricky conditions. I've just had a co-commentator come and jump into the booth with me. I'm very, very lucky to have her. She was actually our representative in Marseille, which was the Paris 2024 Olympics in the FX. She was also the helm for our first ever Women's America's Cup team with Team Australia Challenge. The AC40 is in the sail racing shop. If you haven't seen it, you can go and check it out. Another incredible innovation for Hamilton Island Race Week this year. But I have the beautiful Olivia Price sitting next to me as we go back onto the water and look at these pictures of all of the boats setting up. I mean, Liv, tell me about the conditions out there. It looks really tricky.
Oh, it's of course really tricky. Thank you for that fantastic introduction, Nick.
You're welcome.
It's obviously the most beautiful venue I think in the world to sail at, and obviously the breeze has been a bit light all day. We've had a bit of a waiting game, but it looks like the 49ers and FXs are ready to get into some great racing. Obviously, between all these islands, there's lots of tide and lots of wind and local breezes, so it's going to be really tricky for everyone out there today.
It is going to be really tricky, but that's okay. We can deal with that. They're world-class athletes, and you just mentioned the FX and the 49er. So we're calling it the 49er Exhibition Series, but it's actually the 49er and FX Exhibition Series, and we'll see girls racing alongside male teams as well.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the beauty of this class. The girls and the boys, the male and females, race in the same boat, same hull, and same foils, same boom. But the difference is the rig and the sail area. So, they're developed for the lighter crew weights for females and slightly bigger crew weights for males. So there is a rig difference, and also that means sail area difference. So there is a little bit less power in the 49er FX. But I can tell you from all of our years of training, the FX can definitely beat those boys in the 49er because the power to weight ratio is quite equal. So in these conditions, the boys might be having a bit more sail area up, but that also means that there's less sail area to go fast, there's more drag. So the girls will be able to definitely be competitive. We'll have everyone out there fighting for those positions at these top marks.
So incredible. As we go out onto the water with our on-water studio, the shots are absolutely beautiful. And we do have 13 teams racing today. So from both Australia and New Zealand, 13 teams that are taking part in the action. So we might actually have a little bit of a look at the teams and go through that a little bit. And we'll see how we go with bringing up the teams list. And if you can have a little bit of a look here are the Australian teams. Absolutely incredible to have them here. Otto Henry and Sean Connor, an Oz 47 with Club Car. Palm Beach, Jack Ferguson and Jack Hildebrand. Buckingham Marine is Harry Price and Max Paul. Steadfast, Kurt Hansen and Will Bridge. Amex, Laura Harding and Annie Wilmot. Orb Manette, Brooke Wilson and Evie Hazeldine, who you've sailed with, obviously, Olivia Price.
Yeah, my crew.
Journey Beyond, Mina Ferguson and Derv Lajugan. So we'll keep an eye out on them as the racing progresses. We also have our Kiwis. If you have a little bit of a look in, they'll be following on from these Aussies in just 1 second, perhaps. But we do have silver medalists out there today. I think you've trained against them before, McHardy and McIsaac. They're incredible sailors.
McHardy and William Mackenzie, yes. Yeah. Obviously back in the boat. Haven't lost anything from their enormous success in Paris, I'm sure.
Yeah, totally. I'm really, really happy that we've managed to create this incredible opportunity, and my hat is off to all at Hamilton Island who have worked so hard to reconnect Olympic sailing to this history that we have here at Hamilton Island as sailors. And I mean, what a venue. There's definitely an incredible space here for these sailors to train and to compete and to learn, especially at this time of year when you'd otherwise have to be overseas and away from home. We're incredibly spoiled to have the opportunity to be here, I think, Olivia.
Yeah, especially, in the lead up to the potential Brisbane 2032 venue. We've got some great, we've got a home Olympics coming to Australia in Brisbane in 2032, and Hamilton Island, the Whitsundays are part of the sailing venues. So it's incredibly exciting for all these young teams to be out here and really getting their first look at what will be some fantastic Olympic racing venues. It really is, you know, this week is about the enormous festival of celebrating sailing and bringing the Olympic level competition to Hamilton Island Race Week with thanks to Palm Beach. We're able to then, you know, give these guys the opportunity of sailing in this venue in the most beautiful place in the world in the greatest time. The day is absolutely amazing.
I know, and it's so cool too when we've been watching the yachts sort of struggle a little bit to get out of the channel, and then you see the 49ers absolutely riffing around. I'm really passionate about Olympic sailing, as I know you are, Olivia, and I didn't actually, you said thanks for the introduction, but Olivia actually won a silver medal in London 2012 in a completely different class, and that was women's match racing. So we did quite a bit of training up here in the lead up to 2012 as well. We were very lucky to do that, which was special. Basically no wind on the course, but that's okay.
Yeah, you know, it is a bit static, but we're seeing some of the skippers during some of this pre-start setups, they are out on trapeze, so we're getting, you know, gusts of maybe up to 7 knots at some points, and then obviously some lulls a little bit further down the race course. So it's going to be, you know, really technical racing out here. Really is going to be high quality to watch. And you know, we've got prime viewing, you and I, Nick.
I know, exactly. I'm so spoiled just sitting down here. And for those who may have just joined us, we are live streaming the Palm Beach Motor Yachts Trans-Tasman 49er Exhibition Series. Just rolls off the tongue. And it's absolutely brilliant to be here at the Hamilton Island Yacht Club. The racing is going to be right off the yacht club here. We've got for those who are on the bomby deck, we've got Laura Harding and Annie Wilmot just tacking around the top mark now, and all of the others are starting to warm up. And we're going to have a little bit of a look at the New Zealand teams list as well. We've already run through the Australian teams, and we'll just head to the New Zealand teams. We've got Nicola Hume, Rebecca Hume, Seb Menzies and George Lee Rush. They're on AG1 and Easy Go. Then we have the Sundays, Isaac McCarty and Will McKenzie, who I already mentioned, Hamilton Island Air, Sam Bacon and Blake McGlashan, North Sales, Mateus Coots and Oscar Gunn, and IGA, Francesco Carouge and Hamish McLaren. A few of these pairings are really, really fresh, and there's actually been a few injuries throughout the fleet too. So a few people nursing injuries, a few people in new combinations. We just mentioned, Olivia, that your crew from Paris 2024, Evie Hazeldine, is now in a new pairing with Brooke Wilson.
Yeah, it's you know, great to. I'm obviously watching them with very close eyes. Evie and I, you know, did that 3-year campaign in the lead up to Paris 2024, and you know, Brooke's been an amazing up and coming, actually Ilka sailor and match racer. So, you know, she's taken the step in the last couple of months to get into the 49er FX, and you know, from what I've been speaking to them, they're really enjoying the partnership. And learning as much as they can, especially, you know, they've just been to the Junior Worlds recently and are back.
And we're pairing in the 49er FX for Australia. We've been sailing for about 9 months together now. We're having a great time and learning a lot. After the Paris 2024 Olympic Games with Olivia Price, I decided to find a new helm, and my coach Victor Pyle helped me to find Brooke Wilson. So we've really enjoyed the learning curve with each other, as you know, I've had to relearn a few things as well, and Brooke's obviously come from the Ilka, so a little bit of a change of pace in boat speed and racing, and we're really excited to be here on Hamilton Island to race against some of the Kiwi guys and the Kiwi girls team.
Fun fact, we have matching team shoes. Birkenstocks, obviously.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored. It's a great opportunity that we can be training at home. It's paradise here in Hamilton Island, so being able to sail against, I think we've got a 12-boat fleet this week, so it's an awesome opportunity to get some racing in a medium-sized fleet, which normally would have to go to Europe for. So it's a great opportunity, and we're really happy to be here.
We're very, very grateful for Hamilton Island putting on a spectacle here for the 40th anniversary of Race Week, and great to have the Olympic class 49er and 49er FX on the island for some racing.
Amazing to be back on the water. Lovely to hear from Brooke Wilson and Evie Hazeldine there on their campaign going forward, as Olivia was talking to that. And they're just one of the 13 teams that we have here taking part in the Palm Beach Motor Yachts 49er Exhibition Series, the Trans-Tasman Battle. Kiwis versus Aussies. This is something to get involved with. If you're watching on Front Street or you're watching on the Hamilton Island YouTube page, it's fantastic to have you. You can watch right from the balcony at the Hamilton Island Yacht Club as well. We're about 10 minutes now off a warning signal. We'll be keeping our eyes peeled. They'll be doing a 2-lap course around the top mark, which is literally off the bommy deck. And then around, so they'll come from the start all the way up towards us, around the top, around the bottom, around the top, and then heading to a finish. So we'll be bringing you the live action, of course, on all of the screens. But in the meantime, I think maybe we should hear from one of our 49er athletes. I should just pick one out of our incredible list. I think we'll go with the Jacks. We've got Jack Ferguson and Jack Hildebrand, and this interview is incredibly fun to do.
Hi, my name's Jack Hildebrand.
I'm Jack Ferguson.
We've been staying together for about 1.5 years, on and off a little bit.
And fun fact is, this is smart casual.
We're absolutely loving being here on Hamilton Island for this training camp. It's a glamour to be sailing here in Australia and doing some training at home in these great conditions and beautiful weather here.
Yeah, an absolutely awesome venue. Conditions have been very challenging, but honestly, it's such an incredible place to sail and really picks our brains. So using all our sailing knowledges combined to do the best we can here. The calibre of the fleet here between Aussies and Kiwis is quite impressive.
And the smart casualness of Jack Hildebrand just keeps me very, very entertained. Last night at the welcome night, the skipper's welcome function, he was definitely the best dressed person in the land. He is quite hilarious. He keeps his slacks and his dress boat shoes on at all times, even until he's going on the water with a rash vest on top. It's quite entertaining. And that's something that I think is really important to Olivia. Like, all of these athletes are people, and they've got all these incredible stories on how they've come together, and then here they are pushing ahead, perhaps for LA or perhaps for 2032 already. You get into the system quite early. For those who don't know, we pretty much are training for the next Olympics and the next Olympics and the next Olympics. We call them quads.
Yeah, exactly. It is such a pinnacle event. Having one every 4 years means that it does actually take longer than just that kind of event preparation. It really is a whole campaign mentality. So, some of these teams are more experienced than others. Some are new partnerships, some are quite developed partnerships. So they'll all have different goals as to how they work through the next few months, few years of problem solving together. To make sure that they're ticking all the right boxes. So some teams might be looking to perfect their performances and really peak at some of these world championship events. They've both got their class world championships coming up in Cagliari in October. So some will be refining and trying to add precision to their package, and then some are just learning how to maximize their time on the water. What does their mentality need to look like? How much time in the gym do they need to spend? Quite early parts of those things. So, each quad, there are clear goals for each time you go out on the water, and they're going to be quite different for each of the teams.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's different for classes as well, and the way that you work. It's probably different for a crew and a skipper as well. The different muscles that you're working, the different areas you need to work on, and then also the mindset, I think, is really important. The team actually both teams opted to bring a psychologist rather than a physio, which I thought was interesting. They're thinking at this stage of the quad, it's more important for them to get their minds set on the game and what's ahead, as opposed to having that physio support. So I found that incredibly interesting when I was talking to some of the teams last night. But it's really cool for me that you can see them all here rafting up together, working together. Whilst there is a Trans-Tasman rivalry, it's also really great that the Aussies and the Kiwis, we're quite isolated from the rest of the world. Yes. In terms of sailing. I call sailing a Eurocentric sport. I know that World Sailing's working really hard on changing that, but the fact that we can work together here at Hamilton Island, potential waters of 2032, is pretty incredible.
Yeah, exactly. To continue building that partnership. My saying is, you don't get better at sailing until you sail against better people. So the more people you sail against, the more you're going to learn every time you're out there. So, you know, developing this Trans-Tasman partnership, it's, you know, been quite strong in the past. You know, the eras of Nathan Outeridge, Ian Jensen, and Peter Burling and Blair Tuke, you know, they were training partners for multiple years, and really were dominant forces in the classes. So, you know, this is just the start of what could potentially be quite a dynamic and exciting partnership, just starting here for the next few years.
Absolutely, and for those who maybe aren't sailing aficionados, such as like Olivia and myself, Peter Burling and Blair Tuke, they won 2 golds and a silver in the class, and Nathan and Goobs won 2 golds and a silver as well, but in different times, which was quite interesting. Perhaps 1 gold and 1 silver for our Aussies. But both of those pairings have ended up in the professional world of sailing. For me, the 49er class and the FX class are really where you pull your top tier talent from at the moment. They're the ones that are racing at the highest speeds in terms of Olympics. The strategy is so important, and every single thing that these teams do today will become really important. And as we have a close-up look at them out on the water here from our On the Water studio, you can see them having a little chat to each other, working out maybe what side's favoured, having a bit of a laugh. So, you know, getting themselves in the mode to get into racing, which will be in just about, I think, 2 minutes. So, yeah, this is going to be good, and we're getting away from the camera there too. They've gotten a bit used to that rib being out on the course the past few days. We've been watching them train. They have been here already for about a week, I believe. So a training camp that culminates in this exhibition series, which is going to be incredibly spectacular.
Yeah, you can see most of the fleets are sitting down toward, you know, further away from us. They'd be looking up the course and just checking out what the scenarios could be that could play out. A lot of sailing is about trying to predict the unknown and have options for when it doesn't go the predicted way. So they'll all be sitting down there having a think about what side of the course looks like there's more pressure or less tide or a better shift or approach into the mark. So that's what's going on down there at the moment. And as they approach those final minutes in the lead up to the start, they're just perfecting their time on distance so that they know they're going to be at speed, on time and on that line when the gun goes.
Absolutely, and for those watching from the bommy deck, or perhaps if you're watching online, the tide essentially is running from the right of your screen or the right of your frame to the left of your frame. If you're standing on the bommy deck, it is running to the south. It is running quite hard. So I think we'll see them trying to, and I can even see them now holding quite high towards the north end, because they know that they will get pulled towards that side. I just saw a flag go up. We are in sequence.
5 minutes.
5 minutes to go until the first race of the Palm Beach Motor Yachts Trans-Tasman exhibition series for the 49ers. And what a sight to see. If we pull out a little bit wider, we will have Wild Oats 10 coming right through the course in just a few minutes' time. Here they come onto your screen. How's this? Olympic racing, and something that is just so iconic to the Whitsundays, Wild Oats 10. How good is that?
Oh, exactly. You couldn't have timed it any better, Nick.
I know.
Well done.
Just dialed them up. Come on, let's go do this. It'll be fantastic. But what a great view for our sailors too. And we usually go down to the water to our coach boat and to our on-water studio to have a chat. Katie Spithill is our go-to on-water girl, but she's currently on Wild Oats 10. So, you know, she's just out there having a bit of a sail. So we can't do that right now. Yeah, so actually, hopefully she'll now rip around and jump onto the rib, and we'll have her out on the water, which would be ideal. Excellent. All right, now we've got the shot of the flags. We are in sequence. There's Emma Roberts and Matt Stevens on the race committee vessel. Emma Roberts has been helping to facilitate all of the operations for this incredible opportunity for these athletes. And we will keep an eye on those flags as we lead into the first race. Oh, this is so exciting. You can see them lining up there. They're actually already jostling Olivia here in this start sequence. Can you talk me through what's happening as we're looking down towards that start?
Yeah, so you'll see everyone just sitting almost all on the same tack, trying to make headway against the tide. So we do still have, around about 3 minutes to go before all the fleet will cross the line. So what they're doing now is they're trying to be the most bow forward, or like the most advanced when the gun goes. So we're trying to position so that, and predict, so in that 3 minutes time, or less than 3 minutes now, that they'll be in the right spot for when the gun goes. Now, because the tide is quite strong and the wind is quite light, the tide is going to have a bigger effect over the movement of the boats rather than the wind. So in my eyes, you'd be wanting to sail the longest tack first, which is going to be port tack. So we'll see them all setting up for that next approach. And yeah, the windward side looks pretty good to me. Oh, sorry, the pin end of the line to the right, the left-hand side of your screen at the moment. That will be kind of the dominant area of where I would expect the leaders to first jump.
Yeah, good intel there, Liv. And it looks really tricky at the moment, but we'll see them all really start to get into action as we count down to the go. It's 5 minute sequence, but we're well into that sequence now, and this will be all about who actually pulls the trigger first on time without being over. Oof, it's not a large line either. This is where a lot of sailing comes down to, Liv, is the start.
Yeah, exactly. And, starting in clear air so that there's no disturbance around you and you can sail the way that you want to sail without being affected by other boats. But, it's really tricky trying to sail in this tide and hold your position. So it does take a really large amount of hours of starting practice and holding your boat, and what we call sculling as well. So keeping as close to head to wind as possible without fouling the boats around you or falling onto the port tack, so the wrong tack, and have to then do a penalty turn. So you can see that the boats are all really close together. I can imagine that there'll be a bit of yelling going on out there as well, because rubbing is racing, and they'll be trying to convince their competitors that they're not in the right spot.
Indeed, and you can see them all really racking up now. I would not be surprised if we're just about to go. We'll try and get that flag up on the screen for when the go gun happens. There we go. And we are within 1 minute to go for the first race of the Palm Beach Motor Yachts 49er Trans-Tasman Exhibition Series. Here we go, counting down.
I think there should be around 30 seconds if we're running on GPS time. But, you can see just how tricky it is for all these boats to even stay behind the line, because the water is just moving in this tide and current area.
And as you predicted, they are all at that pin end of the line, trying to get as close as possible to the line with less adverse current. I can see a few now having to bail out. They've chosen to bail.
Yeah, we're inside 5. That flag's just about to go down. I'd expect it to 1, and we are racing.
Racing now. There we go. We're off and racing. The first
25.
time ever that we actually kick off. Oz 25 has had a great start, actually triggered really well. Wrong end of the line to what we might have expected, but they were going.
Yeah, so we can see at the pin end, everyone's just held each other up. And so that one with the clear air is actually going to be in the best position.
And I'm not sure if you know that person, Olivia Price. His name's Harry Price. He happens to be your brother on the helm with Max Paul up the front. A new pairing following the last Olympic Games. But Max has been injured, and they've actually jumped back on the boat today together. So great to see them out on the water.
Yeah, so now we're seeing a little bit more jostling and trying to find clear air. You can see everyone's changing direction, tacking, changing their mode just to get out of that start box. Because you have to think that if someone's doing the correct boat speed that they should be doing in that amount of wind, so the velocity made good, the VMG, and others aren't, there's a big gap going to open up here.
And if we go to the wide shot, you'll see that it looks like some of the boats haven't even moved, and that's what we're seeing in reality. And there's big splits on the racetrack, as predicted, a lot on the left, but a few out on the right, and they will have max current to come back with, so we'll see how this all unfolds. Oof. Tricky, tricky, tricky.
Yeah, and the boats that are going to be on port tack are going to be actually sailing faster because they're going with the tide. So it could be a bit deceptive at times before the boats tack onto starboard. When they start pushing that tide, that's going to be when we're really figuring out who's one out of this little start here.
And here is our port tack bunch that we're talking about that are out. If you're looking from the yacht club, they're out on the right hand side as you're looking at it. But here on our screen, we're up nice and close to them. You can see how slow they are moving, potentially coming back across this tide. 25 has gone all the way to the right hand corner meanwhile. 777 just starting to pick up speed, and you can see the separation here.
Yeah, exactly. We've just, the wind is quite tricky around all these islands, and it looks like, 25, so Harry and Max, they were they were a little bit caught out in less wind, but now it's just going to be about managing that tide. Indeed. So we've got Mina and Dervla here
on the screen, looking very, very good. One of our female teams, a new pairing. Mina's done incredibly well in the Wasp recently. Her brother is also sailing 49ers. There's the beautiful yacht club in the background of this shot as we look back towards us here at Hamilton Island Yacht Club. And they're doing really well on port tack coming back across. Just trying to get a picture of who's right out on that left-hand side coming towards us. I think that's 44, Evie Hazeldine and Brooke Wilson, right out on the right-hand side if you're looking at it from the yacht club or on the live stream. They're right on the right of your screen or on the screen now.
Yeah, it is. That's, Brooke and Evie. They were probably one of the boats that headed out to that left-hand side as they went sailing, the Ord Minette team. So they've just decided to do an undertack and realise that there's more pressure on that side of the course. So they're going to try and have a late approach going into it.
Indeed. They're now starting to approach the top mark, which is the yellow mark right down off the front of Hamilton Island Yacht Club. And we are looking around the poles to see if there's any breeze out on the right-hand side. I do think 47 is in a really good spot. That's Club Car. That's Nicola Hume and Rebecca Hume. They're doing really, really well out on this right-hand side. We'll see how that eventuates. 47 tacking over now to come in on the pin side.
So we do have our first 49er group approaching the top mark. One boat's got really close in the overlay, but Oz 25 is just going to sail around the outside and be our leaders at our first top mark.
And here we go, around the top mark is Oz 25. Great sailing.
Yeah, obviously a little bit excited about that one. Can hear some cheers from up on the deck.
I would hazard a guess that's Sarah Kenny up there on the deck, Max Paul's mother, former Vice President of World Sailing. 20 is next. Then the no-name boat, which is Seb Menzies and George LaRush. They don't actually have a number. They're easy go. They're coming around thick and fast now. Then we've got Journey Beyond and North Sails. That's Matthias Coots heading around the top mark. Then New Zealand 900 will be next. Then Laura and Annie on Oz 5. But hey, that start, it does all come down to the start. Harry Price and Max Paul headed out on port tack. They had breeze and they've gone straight back to that side again. They like that puff.
Yeah, they do. There seems to be that they've just been able to hold a bit more pressure and stay in that gust that they were using on the upwind. They have had to jibe back because remember, we do have a moving, an elevator basically from the right to the left, a moving carpet. So this starboard jibe is actually going to be the longest. So look, they're really quite heated up there as it comes onto our screen in just a second, but they're definitely in more pressure and making gains against the fleet. And it was Matthias Coots on the North Sails boat as well that did another jibe set and followed Harry and Max, and they seem to have made some great gains from there too.
And we just have a few big boats coming through the track as well. That blue spinnaker in the distance is Harry and Max heading down towards the bottom mark. We've got, we had a ferry come through just before. We've got all the boats that are finishing their days racing for the Hamilton Island Race Week 40th anniversary regatta as well. It's full traffic in Dent Passage this afternoon. What a glorious place to be for the Palm Beach Motor Yachts Trans-Tasman 49er Exhibition Series. As we come into the bottom mark, they've got a whole nother lap to go. They're really pushing some tide now.
Yeah, exactly. We've just seen the leaders put the handbrake on basically, and the fleet that went round just behind them seems to have found their own little gust for themselves. So it's going to be actually really close when it comes to this next meet point at the bottom mark.
We've got a really big, long parade of boats heading down on starboard tack. And coming back across, we've got Bushranger coming right through the course. And there's that big, long starboard parade heading down towards the bottom mark. You can see them, they're all just trying to stay out of the current. I think Max, Paul and Harry Price are just heading into the bottom mark now.
Yeah, they've been snaked though. They've lost that lead. They took it too far and had to sail pretty much upwind into tide. So they what we call an overlay because of the tide. So I'm not sure exactly who went round in first, but it looks like Harry and Max are in second. We've got a really big wind shift happening out there too.
Indeed, it looks like it's gone a long way to the left. It was actually in the east when they started, and now I feel like it's curved quite a long way round to the northeast. And the boats that have ended up on the right-hand side of the track, like New Zealand, that's on the screen, 122, they've gone a long way down to the left of your viewing screen at the Yacht Club, or they're literally getting sucked by that tide and getting pushed right. They might have to beat back to the bottom marks.
Yeah, they'll definitely be having to do some tacks. They're just getting pushed sideways because there's not the tide movement is way stronger than what the wind is right now. So you've got to think about that in a course area, not so much in terms of looking for pressure, but what impact is that going to have on my length of tacks, because one's going to be a lot longer than the other.
And if we look at the boats that are coming back upwind, essentially they're on port tack all the way. It's a one leg beat.
It's what we call a soldier's course. Yeah, you know, that left shift, that's how that downwind pack gained on Harry and Max, was from that left wind shift, and that just is evidence right here, right now, even though the tide is pushing them from right to left across the screen, they're still overlaying, so it's a really big shift. I'd say it's almost 90 degrees.
I do feel like you're right. I think 90 degrees, it's gone all the way from the east to the northeast, and that's really, really tricky. But if we're on the water at the moment, and we go and we're just panning through these boats that are heading across on port. There's Evie and Brooke Wilson on Ord Minette heading across on port in a really nice position. AG1, as I mentioned, are beating back to that bottom mark. That literally had to drop their spinnaker to get back to the bottom gates. So, yeah, it's a tough one, that's for
dynamic.
Sure. Very dynamic. But back to this big, long port parade coming into the top mark. And these boats beating into the bottom. This is going to be really fun at the top. Here's the top mark on the left of your screen. And they will reach in here. They'll have to reach in, do a bit of a duck, and then tack around.
Yeah, it's really going to make it hard for them to set a spinnaker on the next downwind as well. The tide will be pushing them, and they're going to be almost sailing upwind on the way back as well. You can see the skippers and the crews standing up and trying to be really dynamic. We've obviously got a bit of chop out here because all of our Hamilton Island Race Week competitors are on their way back into the marina. So really dynamic crew weight, trying to just keep this boat moving as quickly as possible.
How good is this? Kurt Hansen and Will Bridge on Steadfast come into the top mark in first position. Oh, they are doing a starboard rounding for this last rounding to try and give them a little bit of variety. They may have to jibe straight back. Perhaps the finish is offset here and we can't see it behind this post. Yeah, that is what's happening. They're reaching into the finish.
Reaching finish. We have the Steadfast team in the lead currently, but it's not over yet, I can tell you that, because the teams coming from behind have more pressure.
They do have more pressure, and it's Max Paul and Harry Price behind them on Buckingham Marine.
There's even some jibes potentially to happen here.
This is intense. And then we have
just watching that's finish for Steadfast in first place.
And New Zealand 135 and next, that's Francesco Carus and Hamish McLaren. Then we have Oz 47, that's Club Car, great sailing by Club Car. That's going to be a keeper for them for sure. That's Otto Henry and Sean Connor on 47. Then we have New Zealand.
Taken New Zealand.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Then Then we have New Zealand 900 Sam Bacon and Blake McGlashan, Hamilton Island Air. And then Easy Go is next, the Aussie team, sailing beautifully there. Easy Go is Seb Menzies and George LaRush. My apologies, from New Zealand. They might hate me for calling them Aussies.
It is tricky to see with this sun reflection. Is making your life quite tricky, Nick. You're doing a fantastic job.
I know. Thank you, Olivia. I'm loving this spot. It's absolutely beautiful. But yes, it's a little bit tricky. Palm Beach coming around now, that we actually have a Palm Beach boat in the Palm Beach Motor Yacht exhibition series, which is fantastic. Followed by the FX. You can see the rig difference between the FX and the 49ers when you line them up. And here is our finish. That's perfect. The finish coming across here. And that's one race done. I will run you through the full scores when we can. Oz 5 just going for a set now. That's Amex, Laura Harding and Annie Wilmot. That just shows you how tough it was to tack back early. They tacked back a little bit early and got sucked in the pressure on that first beat.
Yeah, I think they got stuck at the start. It really is everything. We did mention that earlier. But, it is just the first race. We have plenty more racing to go, and I know that they'll be able to reset and just make their way through down to the bottom and reset for these next races, because they're going to be pumped out quickly, and we can't wait to see exactly what happens. It's anything is game.
Absolutely. North Sails coming into the finish now. Another Kiwi boat skippered by Matthias Coots and
Oscar Gunn.
And Oscar Gunn, yes, indeed. That's a new pairing too. Matthias hasn't really sailed the 49er before, but he did win the Moth Worlds, not last year, but the year before. So, he's doing pretty well.
Yeah, exactly. And, obviously, great history in sailing in his family, and winning the Moth Worlds in New Zealand in his home country earlier this year, sorry. Jumped in a 49er with the fantastic Oscar Gunn, who's been around and sailing the 49er, so very experienced in both of their own rights, and now it's about bringing their partnership together, which I'm sure is exactly what they're focusing on.
We do have one more boat to come around the top mark, the boat that had to beat all the way back to those bottom marks when they got stuck in the tide. And I'm just being reminded by Emma Roberts as a point that there are no drops.
No drops. Oh, this is harsh racing.
No drops. So usually when we sail, ladies and gentlemen, we are allowed to discard our worst score. But at this event, that is not happening. So AG1, unfortunately, we'll have to keep this one. And that just keeps it fair. If we've all got no drops, we've all got no drops. Everyone's dealing with a level playing field. Nicola Hume and Rebecca Hume, the sister team, come around the top mark, and they will head into the finish. We will have more racing very, very soon. We'll go to an on-water shot with Nicola and Rebecca as they come into the finish. This is the finish line. It's literally under the bomby deck of the yacht club. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, exactly. You can't get more exciting and thrilling racing. Obviously, we'd love a little bit more wind, but you can just, as all of these race week yachts keep coming in, that bomby deck is going to be packed watching this racing.
Indeed. And for those who may have just joined us, I'm able to run you right through the results now. I will do it by country code. So for those who are watching, hopefully you know who the competitors are, and I'll try and do my best. Oz 20 was Kurt Hansen and Will Bridge. Oz 25 was Harry Price and Max Paul. Then we had Oz 47, which was Otto Henry and Sean Connor. Then New Zealand 135 was Francesco Cairuz and Hamish McLaren. Then we had New Zealand 900, Sam Bacon and Blake McGlashan. Then Oz 61 was Jack Ferguson and Jack Hildebrand, aka Smart Casual. Then we had New Zealand, Palm Beach with no sail number. They are Easy Go. Seb Menzies and George LaRush, I think. Then Oz 44, which is Evie Hasselden crewing for Brooke Wilson. Then Oz 777, which is Mina Ferguson and Dervla Dugan. Then Oz 5, which is Annie Wilmot and Laura Harding. New Zealand 45, which I believe is Matthias Coots and Oscar Gunn. Then New Zealand 1, 2, 2, Nicola Hume and Rebecca Hume. And New Zealand 4 was a did not finish. So how good's that? Rebecca and Nicola, they haven't had a last because New Zealand 4 had a DNF. Oh, they mustn't have made it back in time. That's unfortunate for Isaac McCarty and Will Mackenzie, the silver medalists. Perhaps they're not keen on racing in this pressure.
The pressure, the stakes are high. It's a Trans-Tasman battle, so of course the stakes are going to be high.
We got a beautiful shot of First Light coming into the marina, one of our IRC Div 1 boats. And let's just say a massive thank you to Olivia Price for joining us. She's got to head back up to the simulator. If you would like to go to the AC40 simulator, the Team Australia Challenge AC40 simulator, it is what our inaugural Women's America's Cup team and our Youth America's Cup team used to train. In fact, Olivia, it was, let's say, 99%, more than that, 99.9% of your training.
Yeah, to say that we have 11 hours of experience sailing an AC40 and hundreds of hours with an AC40 simulator is probably accurate there.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm so proud of Olivia for still spending time with that simulator. The amount of hours that the women's and youth teams spent in that simulator was immeasurable. They were in it day, night, racing other people on the simulator as well. It was absolutely incredible. So make sure you go and check it out. It's in the Sail Racing shop right at the front of the Hamilton Island Yacht Club on the right-hand side. And we're really, really, really happy that we got to have you here, our silver medalist Olivia Price, heading off as we get ready for race number 2.
Oh, I'll be watching, don't worry. But thanks heaps, Nick, and I can't wait to see exactly what happens as we pan out for the rest of the afternoon.
Indeed. We will just keep continuing to enjoy the sights of Dent Passage. And if we go to our on-water team, they've actually jumped into the marina and they're actually waving hello to a few of the boats here. Look, this is Hooligan coming past now, owned by Marcus Blackmore. And my other co-commentator, Malcolm Page, who's been promoted to being CEO of Australian Sailing, dual gold medalist. He'll no doubt be running up here any tick of the clock. The official, or the daily racing, the yacht racing for Hamilton Island Race Week has run a little bit over time today. So, and luckily, all of my amazing co-commentators are incredible sailors as well, but that has meant that they've been a little bit slow to jump up to this live feed today. I know he'll be here very soon. There's Highly Sprung, the TP52, owned by Mark Spring, coming right through the racetrack. And now we'll come back to the main screen. And now we've got a ferry coming through the pathway as well, just to give you an indication of the busyness of Dent Passage. Back to our on-water teams. There's a beautiful little Cape 31 heading past the coach boat. And we are now standing by for the next race. We've got 3 races today. It looks like they're shortening the course right up. The 2 bottom marks will be the 2 bottom marks are those 2 little dark spots that you can see in the center of your screen right now. Then they'll actually race across the screen and to the right of your screen up to a top mark and then reach into the finish after 2 laps. So lots more racing to come. Oh, here's one of our biggest boats taking part in Hamilton Island Race Week, Slingshot. Absolutely glorious. Raced in the multi-hull racing division. I think everybody's having a little bit of a sticky beak as they come past as well. The finish line is just to the north of this racetrack. So special. And look at that massive super yacht on the screen too. If we go to our bomby deck camera, we've got not only Slingshot coming through, but a massive super yacht in the background as well. They've been provisioning from Hamilton Island. They're too big to get into the marina, but they have been coming here to stock up, which has been incredibly cool. Back down onto the water, and I'm sure that we'll be heading into a sequence soon. And we'll push all of these races out. We've got a 40-minute window left for our racing today. Beautiful shots here from on the water. I believe our co-commentator is getting all rigged up, our on-water commentator, that is. And perhaps we can head down and have a chat to her and she can tell me how her race was today. Katie, are you there? Excellent. Getting ready for this next race. There goes the horn. 5 minutes to race number 2 of the Palm Beach Motor Yachts. Oh, this is so exciting. Trans-Tasman 49er Exhibition Series. Beautiful views out here on the water. And you can see them all lining up to start in this northerly. The breeze has now swung 90 degrees from that last start. And we'll see them all lining up. There we go, 4 minutes to go until the start for the Palm Beach Motor Yachts. Trans-Tasman 49er Exhibition Series. If you've just joined us, we are live on YouTube, on the Hamilton Island YouTube channel. I believe we're also pushing to Front Street and up onto the Bommy Deck. At least you can hear me as we see some of our Hamilton Island Race Week visitors travelling through the racetrack that is the 49er racetrack. Got about 3.5 minutes to go. Beautiful shots here from behind the line. The sun is setting. It's a glorious spot. And we'll see these boats now racing from the left to the right of your screen. And this is exactly the view that you'll have when you're looking out off the Bommy Deck from the left to the right. They'll go around a top mark to port the first time, to starboard the second time, and then reach to the finish as we get ready for race number 2. Emma Roberts and Matt Stevens doing a great job out there. We can see them on the start boat with those flags flying high. IGA lining up to leeward of Easy Go there. It's quite warm on this veranda with this setting sun. And then watch them all getting ready to go. Everyone jostling for position here. I just had Olivia Price with me commentating, and we both agreed, and I think anyone can agree that is interested in sailing, that the start is incredibly important and incredibly strategic, and they will actually hold their boats in quite, like, almost the same position for a very long period of time. We're coming up to 2 minutes to go, and you can see most of the boats are actually lining up on this start line. If we go to a wider shot here, or if you're looking down from the Bommy Deck, the 2 marks are where they will be starting, and that will also be their bottom mark. And you can see that with just under 2 minutes to go, they've really lined themselves up already, jostling for position, making sure they've got what we call a lane to start in. Does look like number 47, Club Car, have just overshot a little bit. They're going to duck back down, coming towards us And now they'll turn around and get into position. 1.5 minutes to go. Back on the water, you can see that it is still quite quiet. One minute to go, ladies and gentlemen, until the start of race number 2 for the Palm Beach Motor Yachts Trans-Tasman 49er Exhibition Series. Beautiful scenes in the Dent Passage. We'll go to a wide shot now just to see the lineup of this start. You can see how they're strategically placing their boats. The breezes seems to be coming down the left-hand side of their track or further towards the other side of Dent Passage. And that's where there's less tide as well, running to the south. The tide is running from the right-hand side to the left-hand side. And we'll see them line up very shortly. About 40 seconds to go. One boat's triggered a little early, or perhaps not. And here you can see them absolutely jostling. 44's getting ready to go. I think they'll have to turn themselves around. And that's go. 44's absolutely smoked it, listening to see if there's any individuals. If they are over at the start, they are required to do one penalty turn. So if they do get told that they were over, round they go, round they go. .45 tacking over. That's Matthias Coots and Oscar Gunn. As we look to the right-hand side of the course, and they're all heading up towards that top mark. Port does appear to be the longest tack. And you can see here they're crossing over in front of one of our race week yachts. I think that is Virago, in fact. Club Car are out in the lead again. 47, Kurt Hansen, sailing beautifully. He did win the last race, and Oz 777, the FX, just behind Kurt and his counterpart on Club Car, Will Bridge. Oh, they're on Steadfast, apologies. Club Car, oh my goodness, they had a beautiful work in the first race. They came third in the first race. It's Otto Henry and Sean Connor. Sean Connor was our representative in the 49er at Paris 2024. Out in front, sailing beautifully. IGA next. Back to Steadfast, who I mentioned, Kurt Hansen and Will Bridge. Beautiful shots here. Now, because these boats are so small and because it is so tricky out there, we've got to be really careful with how close we do get to these boats out on the racetrack. So we do need to make sure that we're keeping an eye on wake and things like that. So we are getting in the mix with our on-water camera when we can. And here we have a beautiful behind shot of these 49ers as they work their way up to windward. They're trapping now, so there is a little bit of breeze as we come into the top mark. I believe it will be Otto Henry and Sean Connor around in first with that big black spinnaker. Club Car sailing well. And here you'll see the full parade as they come past the yacht club. Absolutely glorious views. And beautiful speed. Look at this as they come past us on the water. Just wow. Palm Beach crossing the coach boat. And look at this glorious view from to windward. Does look like Palm Beach managed to get the lead around the top mark. That's Jack Ferguson and Jack Hildebrand out in front of Otto Henry and Sean Connor. Two Aussies out in front. I'm not biased at all. Looks beautiful. Absolutely glorious shots as every single 49er comes around the top mark. If you have just joined us, we have 13 teams in total that have been here training this week. It's been absolutely magic to have them. Oz 5 on the screen, Laura Harding and Annie Wilmot, one of our FX teams. There's the Yacht Club in the background. Absolutely stunning. AG1 heading in. They're double trapping now, so it does show you that we're up towards maybe 6 or 7 knots. Jibing and coming straight back towards us at the Yacht Club as well. You can see, oh gosh, this is absolutely tight as the two Jacks coming into the bottom mark in first place on Palm Beach, Jack Ferguson and Jack Hildebrand with the black spinnaker. They're rounding the bottom mark now. Round they go with double black coming past to boot in between us and the 49ers. Next around will be Club Car, Otto Henry and Sean Connor. And then the next lot of boats, I'm not sure if you can see them, but they are topped and tailed. So this may be a difficult one to call, but North Sails, Matthias Coots and Oscar Gunn looks to be in third position from New Zealand. Big splits with the two lead Aussie boats, 47 Club Car and Palm Beach going to opposite sides of the racetrack. Coming into the bottom mark now, we have Oz 25. It's Harry Price and Max Paul, Buckingham Marine. Oz 44, Olivia, I just had Olivia here, Evie Hazeldine and Brooke Wilson rounding to starboard. Oz 20 next. Oz 77 in the mix, and there's 3 New Zealand boats right in the middle as well as they head around. It's a mess of boats, as you can see on the screen. The way that they can manoeuvre these boats is incredible, using a combination of steering and body weight and also sail trim. Heading upwind, there goes IGA, Oz 77, Mina and Dervla with the Yacht Club in the background. They're the last to round. And now they're on that long port tack back to the top mark, a starboard rounding, and then they'll be reaching into the finish. We'll have to do some quick maths to see who's leading overall. No drops. Out on the water, we do have some of our spirited Hamilton Island Race Week sailors coming right through the middle of the fleet. I'm not sure they realise that there's racing going on. You can see the massive flags here. These guys are definitely enjoying themselves at the 40th anniversary of Hamilton Island Race Week. And just look at this glorious sunshine as our on-water team heads through the fleet. Our shots are straight into the sun and the breeze is dying out quite a bit. You can see it's quite soft. Maybe 1.5 now trapping. We did have 2 people trapping on the last lap. And there is a lot of traffic coming through now as all of these yachts are finishing. It's just like your general afternoon challenges, dodging yachts. So this is the last lap for these sailors. And this sunshine is extreme. We'll wait for the results to come through to us. The finish mark, I think, will be on the next leg down towards the bottom in front of the Yacht Club, which will help us. Not sure if you're on the Yacht Club veranda looking into the sun, but it is incredibly challenging. You can just see the silhouettes of the 49ers in the distance. The blue spinnaker is up. And, oh, what a shot. It looks like 47, Club Car, has led around the top mark. That's Sean Connor crewing for Otto Henry, our former Olympian. He was our Olympian in Paris 2024, crewing for Jim Colley. So another new pairing. Great to have them training here. As they head past, they're on a port jibe to get themselves back towards the finishing end of this live stream. I'm just trying to poke my head out and see where the finish will be. I think it might be at the bottom of the course on the left of your screen. As we go to the main frame here, the blue boat has been finishing these boats that is on screen now. We'll go back to the top mark. Absolutely stunning shots. Look at this. This is coming through on a live feed. It's not post-produced. Hashtag no filter. It is absolutely stunning on the water this afternoon. A lot of finesse required to actually get these boats through these manoeuvres when there is next to no breeze. Oh, my goodness gracious me. A little bit of a collision at the top between Ord Minnett and Amex. That's two of our female teams. Annie Wilmot with Laura Harding on the back, with Brooke Wilson and Evie Hasseldine. And Mina and Dev Dervler coming round behind as well as New Zealand 900. Now, if we can get back to the finish line, just off the bomby deck now, we'll bring this on to the frame, and it is Palm Beach that have managed to get into the lead. They're in front of Otto and Sean. Palm Beach coming in to the finish. Jack Ferguson and Jack Hildebrand take the win in race number 2. Great sailing from that duo, a new pairing. And just behind them will be Club Car, Otto Henry, and Sean Connor, who have sailed absolutely beautifully.
Palm Beach Motor Yachts is proud to sponsor the Palm Beach Motor Yachts Trans-Tasman 49ers series. The competitive spirit and drive for excellence are at the heart of all Palm Beach Motor Yachts. Founded by ocean racing champion Mark Richards and built using our ocean racing-inspired proprietary V-Warp technology. Delivering unrivaled fuel efficiency and class-leading performance without compromise. Experience the true yachtsman's powerboat. PalmBeachMotorYachts.com.
A massive thank you to Palm Beach Motor Yachts. You just saw the connection there between an incredible brand, the Yachtsman's Powerboat. As we come back to these finishes, there was enough time for a commercial in between the finish of the Jacks and Otto and Sean. And we're now back to North Sails with Mateus and Oscar Gunn coming into the finish also with New Zealand 135. It's on here. It's all on. Oz 25 pushing out to this side. They're in some pressure. That's Max Paul and Harry Price as they come towards the finish. Who will come out on top? We do have starboard tack is the right of way, and they'll probably make New Zealand 135 tack over. That's Francesco Queiroz and Hamish McLaren on IGA as they come into the finish. Oh, I don't want to be the person calling that. 3 votes at once. That is definitely going to be a tight call. What a way to go. Absolutely fantastic. More yachts coming through this racetrack as we see Oz 61 coming across. Easy Go. I believe they'll be next to finish. It'll be close between them and the FXs. We're all in a pack together. Oz 61 coming back across, easy go. And then we have New Zealand, 900 coming into the finish. And then all of the FX girls are heading into the finish. We are meant to have one more race, ladies and gentlemen. So we will hold and follow the instructions of our race committee out on the water. Matt Stevens, who is one of the New Zealand coaches and an incredible skiff and 49er sailor in his own right, is calling the shots today. We now have a massive parade of yachts joining the fray, which is quite fun. All of the action. Now Mina Ferguson and Dervla Dugan coming into the finish now on Oz 7-7 IGA. And then Nicola Brown and Rebecca Brown, the two sisters on AG1, New Zealand 122, will be the final boat to cross the line. Beautiful shot there of AG1 crossing the line. Great work by these girls. They are sisters. They've literally just paired up. They used to sail on different boats and in different classes, and now they've opted to pair up together. And I think we will get ready for a third race. And ladies and gentlemen, in case you didn't know, there's also a free sausage sizzle happening downstairs near the bommy deck. Love to have you join us for a sausage and, hey, to watch some 49er racing. How exciting. Absolutely loving having these boats here as part of the 40th anniversary of Hamilton Island Race Week. Just keeping an eye out for some flags. Now, the race 2 results, I can read them out for you. It's actually a New Zealand boat that's rocking the Palm Beach, so my apologies. I think they've borrowed a sail from somebody with a different number. So I'll have to get an update to my list here to make sure that I update that properly. And we have Oz 47, New Zealand 45, Oz 25, New Zealand 135, Oz 20, Oz 61, Oz 5, New Zealand 900, Oz 44, Oz 777, and New Zealand 122. So now the fun bit is, for those who maybe don't understand how the scoring works, we plug all that into a spreadsheet, essentially, and the boat that has the lowest score overall, when you add a 1 and a 2 or a 2 and a 2, that would be 4. And the person with, or the team with the lowest score is in the lead overall. So it's all about consistency. And in 2 days' time, the last race will be double points. And there's no drops. So it's all on. Absolutely incredible. I do think we might have an on-water commentator. Oh, amazing. Miss Katie Spithill has joined us fresh from racing on Wild Oats 10 today. Katie, it is so fantastic to have you joining us. For those who don't know, an incredible match racer and racer in her own right. And you're rocking a red shirt, Katie. And it looks like we've got a little issue with the audio down there, but we will grab her back in just a minute. Beautiful shots out there. I'm so happy she's managed to join us. Malcolm Page will also be jumping in the commentary booth over the course of the week, but I think he literally just... I haven't actually seen Hooligan. Oh, we did see Hooligan go through. Hooligan has finished. He's doing tactics on Hooligan. And a few delays today given the racing, so, and the light air. Getting ready for this next race. It does look like they may move the course a little bit. And I think we might be able to go down to the water to get an update from our red-shirted sailor girl, Katie. How was your day out there? Did you have a good sail? We'll try her again in a minute. You can see all of these boats are actually pulling up alongside some of the coach boats just to have a little bit of a chat. It might be to grab some water. It might be to have a reset, just to get themselves into the frame of mind where they're always ready to go and not think about the last race, essentially. Good to see a few people out on the bommy deck enjoying the racing. It looks like there's a little puff of breeze moving across the racetrack now. Boats are starting to get moving. And here we go. Katie.
Good afternoon, Nick.
Do you have some wind gods with you? You've just arrived.
I have, and what a fabulous afternoon. I've had some whale watching, turtles, and some fantastic racing, and back in time for the Palm Beach Trans-Tasman 49ers.
I know, and I'm like, how lucky for those who have not had the amazing opportunity to go sailing on Wild Oats 10. It's a pretty incredible boat and a very, very amazing legacy in Australian sailing.
Exactly, a fantastic boat, along with many other boats out there today.
Indeed, and how was Mark Richards, given that Mark Richards knew he had to rush back for his Palm Beach Motor Yacht Trans-Tasman 49er series? Was he a little nervous he might miss it?
Exactly, I think everyone really wanted to be back to watch, and I think we're starting to see some of the yachts come back to have a look, and we're seeing a great crowd building up on the yacht club deck. So what an exciting afternoon.
An incredible afternoon. And how are the conditions out there? I'm on the balcony. I'm a little bit protected. Is it as light as it looks?
Look, it is. The best thing now is the breeze is steady. You know, as you may have seen in the last hour, we've had quite a shift from the north, south, everywhere, a bit of tide changes. So it's still fantastic bit of water regardless.
I think I just heard a horn too, Katie. Looks good out there.
Exactly. We've got whales splashing just in the middle of the course at the moment to our right, and we have just gone into a 5 minute for race 3.
Excellent. 5 minutes to go. We'll check in with you at the end of racing if that's okay, Katie. We've got the full view of the 49er action in the frame, and this is going to be awesome. All right, see if I can get that 4 minute gun. Ladies and gentlemen, the third race for today, the third and final race. Our aim is to be done by 5 o'clock, and I think we're right on track. This is where you get really excited as a sailor, waiting for the flags. And there we go, 4 minutes to go for the final race of today. You see them all lining up, going for another northerly course. Just to refresh your memories, if you're watching from the yacht club or if you're watching on the screen, they will race from the left to the right. They will do 2 laps to the right, to the left, to the right, and then finish downwind. And we'll go to the on-water shot here. You can see them all queuing up at the start boat. Flags in the air. When the next flag comes down, that's 1 minute to go. And when the last flag comes down, That's go time. We'll pull out a little bit there just to let the yacht come right through the frame. And it is light and it is tidal. So we see this parade of yachts coming all the way through the racetrack. The aim of the game here, as we've seen in these last two races, is to make sure you have a clean start. And we say clean, that means that you want to be going when the gun goes. You can see them all fighting for this boat end of the line. They want to be on the longest tack first, which is port, if they can. But they don't have right of way if they're on port. They actually really want to be on starboard, which a lot of them are at the moment. And then they'll flick over, most likely, onto port tack. Big, long starboard tack, and then... Ooh, getting a little bit nervous. Club car going for a jibe at the leeward end of the line. Oz 47. Jostling for position. It's 2 minutes and 15 seconds to go. Look at that for a shot. Absolutely stunning. You can see how they're all just getting into their own little lane. It's like horse racing, but they don't have the benefit of being in the gates. They have to make their own gate, and the gate doesn't open for them. They have to be moving and not cross that line until it is go time, or they do get a penalty. 25 all the way down to leeward of the line. That's Buckingham Marine. Ord Manette in a good position. Journey Begins, Amex, North Sails, AG1, all jostling for position. It's still a minute and a half to go, so you can see how long these incredible athletes have to hold their boat in one position, and it's not easy. You can see how much they're moving around, moving their tiller back and forth to hold the boat in position, and then a big pump down to try and make sure that the boat doesn't stop moving forward ever so slightly. If the boat is going backwards, you don't have any rights in that rack up. Easy go in a good position as well. This is great. Looking right down the line. 1 minute to go. The final start for the Palm Beach Motor Yachts Trans-Tasman 49er Exhibition Series as part of the 40th anniversary of Hamilton Island Race Week. What a day. Absolutely glorious. Right towards the pin end is Brooke Wilson with Evie Hazeldine. Then down to New Zealand, 45, which is Matthias Coots and Oscar Gunn. And there's the start boat. As soon as that flag comes down, they're off and racing. Beautiful shot here of Matthias Coots and Oscar Gunn, just really trying to hold that boat in position. It's one of the hardest things to do. You might think it's harder when it's windier to sail because it's really full on. But it is actually most difficult to sail in these conditions. Finesse, finesse, finesse. Here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. And they're off and racing for the final race all together. You see Evie actually just giving Brooke a pat on the shoulder there for what was a beautiful start. 135, Journey Beyond has to tack off. They've fallen out of what we call the rack. You can see them all on starboard tack, trying to get across the tide. It is very tricky. 2 laps. 47 Club Car is in a really good position once again. It's Otto Henry and Sean Connor heading out on starboard tack. Great sailing as the yachts come straight through. It looks like New Zealand 999 or 900 is doing a turn. Sam Bacon and Blake McGlashan likely have been told that they were over the line early, and so they're doing their penalty turn. What a beautiful shot. Back towards the yacht club. Lots of people up on the bomby deck watching. Oz 135 tacking onto starboard, which means Oz 61 has to duck. And here's the wide shot. It's already quite a spread in these with these teams. I think this might be the lightest race, but it has settled in the north. Could be a late finish for some of these yachts on for day one. Club car looks to be very in control, coming back across. Got a few waves to deal with as these yachts come through. This is why we wanted to be careful with wake. You can see how much it affects them when it hits their bow. I can hear it. You might be able to hear it in my microphone, actually, the waves coming through from a ferry that just came straight through the fleet as well. Looks to me that New Zealand 135, they're coming back on starboard. That's Francesco Cairuz and Hamish McLaren. They're having a great race. They're furthest on the right of your screen now. As we go back to the on-water shots, as we approach the sunshine in that northern quadrant, very tricky. Beautiful tracking shot here from the on-water studio. They're actually moving so much quicker than you might think. Or so much more quickly, I should say. Oh, look at this. Here comes a big cross. So these three boats are on starboard. Oz 777, the FX Mina, Ferguson and Dervla Dugan will go behind. That is absolutely glorious. Oz 61 in a good spot, still heading on starboard. It looks like we've had a bit of a right shift at the top of the course. That's why these boats look seriously strong on starboard. And if we look up the course here from back at the Yacht Club, those out on the left have come back into the mix and all of the boats are together. This is going to be intense. We'll look for a few of these crosses happening now, back on the water. Oz 61, easy go. It's Jack Ferguson and Jack Hildebrand. 47 Club car up to windward, I think is in a really, really strong position as we come into the top mark. Round we go at the top mark. And first around is New Zealand 135, which is Francesco Cairuz and Hamish McLaren, who did look really strong on the side closest to us. 47 Otto Henry and Sean Connor is around next. And they're going to have a long port jibe back into the mix. Oz 20 next. That's Steadfast. Oz 20 is Kurt Hansen and Will Bridge. They're having a brilliant regatta so far, having just jumped back in the 49er. Kurt Hansen hasn't sailed for nearly, I think, 6 years we worked out was the last time I had seen him. So great to see him back in the class and doing so well too. Oz 5 and New Zealand 45. Annie Wilmot and Laura Harding on AMAX and Matthias Coote and Oscar Gunn on North Sails. Opting to do a straight set, which is counter to the rest of the fleet who seem to have jibe set onto port and are trying to take as much current as they can. So when they're coming downwind, the current's actually helping them, which is why those runs are so fast. They're doing massive speeds across the ground when they're coming downwind. Going upwind, however, when they're going against the current, it could be rather tricky as they reach right back towards the Yacht Club here and then jibe back towards the bottom. Nice little stream of pressure coming down the middle of the course. And here comes a jibe on the screen for some of those who are a little bit further back. As we come back to our Yacht Club cam, we're starting to see the teams come down towards the bottom mark. And I do think Otto Henry and Sean Connor on Club Car have made a big gain down this run. New Zealanders have just worked out that their main sail was inverted, so that will have slowed them down a little bit. It's absolutely glorious shots of these 49ers coming down with the sun setting behind them. Oh, here we go. Here comes the big cross. Can they make it across the lead boat? As we look at the bottom mark here, and lots of people watching from the bommy deck, which is great. Oh, the Palm Beach boat has managed to get in the mix, and that's forced Otto Henry and Sean Connor to drive back, and they'll go for a left-hand turn. And the Palm Beach boat has taken ownership of that right-hand mark. Oh, nope, they've opted to turn left as well. All onto the longest tack first. Back to on water. See just how tight this racing is. And look at them here. They're coming right into the yacht club. Might be able to touch them in a minute. All the way in. I've got a feeling the breeze might be funneling along the shore. And they've now opted to come all the way to this side to stay out of the current. There is a reef right under here too. That's what that mark is indicating, that club car's just gone inside. But the tide is a lot higher than it was when they started. Back to the on-water shots. We are almost double trapping. I think these boats might even be sailing under the bommy deck as we come back to our bommy deck shot. Check this out. There's a good stream of pressure from the left-hand side at the moment. No, they were very lifted on the right at the top of the course, but Otto Henry and Sean Connor in control of this third race in the Palm Beach Motor Yachts Trans-Tasman 49er Exhibition Series. Oh, there comes a little bit of right. They've now lifted up. Palm Beach within touching distance of the bommy deck. I can almost, you may have heard their sails pop actually as they came up right next to the studio. Big right-hand shift, and they've come all the way up. We'll go back to the leaders out on the water. You can see how fast the rib has to go to keep up with them too. There's 47 on the right-hand side of your screen. That's Sean Connor and Otto Henry. Oz 5 Amex. That's an FX. They're doing well this race. Laura Harding and Annie Wilmot. And then New Zealand 900 are also in the mix. It's Sam Bacon and Blake McGashan, who are doing well considering they had to do a penalty turn just after the start. Steadfast tacking over, I think. Oh, not quite. Just pinching. Trying to push nice and high. Oz 20, which I think is Kurt Hansen and Will Bridge with the yacht club right behind them. Absolutely stunning. You can see they're all really similar speeds. We have a rule in sailing that the boat that goes the fastest, the longest, usually wins the race, especially in one design racing. All of these boats are identical, so they're really racing each other for skills. And that's the beauty of Olympic class racing for me, is that we have everyone racing the same platform, and they're testing their ability to judge the wind, judge the side that the wind is going to go, and also the current and the way that they maneuver the boat with their body weight and their trimming. And back to Oz 20 now, tracking all the way to windward. Almost feel like you're on board. Here they go for attack. Just look at that, all the way from one side to the other. Almost like an upside down plank. Another tack. Looks like we do have a boat around the top mark. And this is the last time around the top mark for the day. As they start to come on to our aerial shot. And they'll come past our studio as well. Oh, the starboard rounding at the top mark, catching a few people off guard there. We'll come back to our leaders on the racetrack as they start to come in towards the Hamilton Island Yacht Club. Big long port jibe down to the finish. And then we'll work out a few of the results. Look at this yacht coming straight through the line of 49ers. Hi! A beautiful downwind tracking shot here with some of the teams. Oz 25, Harry Price and Max Paul on the screen. And there is the glorious sunlight as we see them jibe over to head into the finish. And they're right in front of me now. It is Otto Henry and Sean Connor. It's gotten so light, they're almost laying on the wings to get their boat moving. And they do have another jibe to go. Palm Beach right behind them. Otto Henry going for another jibe. Beautiful shots from on the water here. Matthias Coots and the full lineup as they come into the finish. Otto Henry and Sean Connor on Club Car 47 take the win in race 3. That's a good day for those boys. Very consistent. Journey Beyond New Zealand 135 will follow Palm Beach Motor Yachts. Then we have New Zealand 900. Good gains from them after breaking the start. Oz 25, Harry Price and Max Paul will follow New Zealand 900, which is Sam Bacon and Blake McGlashan. Then Oz 61, Jack Ferguson and Jack Hildebrand. Then New Zealand 45, Matthias Coots and Oscar Gunn. And Oz 20, Steadfast, which is Kurt Hansen and Will Bridge. They did fall back there. I think they were in the top 5 around the top mark. That might be a little disappointing for them, but as I mentioned, they're just back in the game. Laura Harding and Annie Wilmot on Amex were next. Then Mina Ferguson and Dervla Dugan. And crossing the line on IGA. They'll be followed by Brooke Wilson and Evie Hazeldine on Ord Manette. And then New Zealand, AG1, 122, Nicola Brown and Nicola Hume and Rebecca Hume. Great sailing from those two sisters. Fantastic to see them coming into the line now. And they'll keep sailing home now, the 49ers. Oh, absolutely stunning. They'll sail home now to Airport Beach. And we'll be back tomorrow with some more incredible racing. Not only will we be live for the racing in the morning for Hamilton Island Race Week, the 40th anniversary presented by Amex. We will also be live once again at 15:30 to lead you in to the Palm Beach Motor Yachts 49er Trans-Tasman Exhibition Series. What a way to bring 49er and FX racing to potential Olympic waters. 2032 is in front of us. Whitsundays, heaven. I mean, combine the Whitsundays with Olympic sport and you've got my vote. I'm pretty excited. We'll see you all tomorrow.